Hey everyone, that's the Football Index season back with a bang. I hope the first weekend was good to you. If you're new around here, please like, share, subscribe, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. We've got plenty of content on the channel for you, no matter where you are on your Football Index journey. Thanks a lot for tuning into the video, and let's get stuck in. Good morning, everyone, and I hope you had a great weekend. Thanks a lot for tuning in. So today we're going to be having a wee look back, a wee recap on match day one. We normally do this on a Tuesday, but with there being no qualifying matches tonight, and with all the hype we've had over the weekend, it's a great episode to get out on a Monday, okay? So the footy is now up to just over 112,000, so we've had a great increase over the weekend. I'm sure a lot of your portfolios will be doing pretty well. Any people you've held throughout that, throughout the last couple of weeks, certainly it'd be really hard for your 7 days not to be up a decent percentage. I'm just going to give you a quick walk through what we've got and what we're sitting at the now, and then we'll run through the runners and riders and all that type of thing. Okay, so we've went back to picking up some Leipzig players with any deposits we've made, any loose change. We sold our Kante as well when we seen he wasn't playing on Sunday, for a decent amount of profit. I think it was something like, what do we have in him? £30 for 37. So what's that, like 20%ish or something? Yeah. We went and bought some Conrad Lamer with that money. So it was like just over £30 to 39, yeah, so about 25% or something. We've bought some Sabitzer with a wee cheeky deposit. We rolled some money back into Haidara, and we went and picked up some Luka Jovic. Where did the Jovic money come from again? I can't remember. We've got some Lookman, and then otherwise it's the fantasy team that we've held for a good period of time, including Madison, who's not a part of that strategy, but is running pretty well all the same. So, sweet, right, okay, let's just get into it now. Dividend winners, okay, who actually banked some profit. Okay, now the Friday was a single match day, okay, now Friday, I think we all expected Liverpool players to really run away with it, just especially with the scoreline as well, very impressive 4-1 victory. Van Dijk and Trent both scored very, very well. They didn't win the best defender, unfortunately for them, which when you consider Van Dijk scored a goal, Trent got 1 assist, is a tad surprising, but it's just that clean sheet thing. It's obviously been a penalty against them points-wise. Origi scored well, Firmino scored well. But the thing as well is, like, Firmino got man of the match on whoscored.com, but Salah and Origi outperformed him on the index, okay? And we're going to be, there's a recurring theme there, okay? So we'll come back to that, okay? Star man of the day was Mo Salah, back on form in a big, big way. Only scoring the 1 goal, but he was involved in a lot of things throughout the pitch. Played the full 90 minutes, which always helps. And yeah, really impressive start from Liverpool. I think second half, I didn't see the game, but second half I'm led to believe Norwich came into it and looked very dangerous, and they might be a bit surprising. Monaco fans was a bit of a damp squid. Fabregas getting sent off so early after being 1-0 down. It was basically Lyon's game to lose, and they just went on and absolutely roasted it. Our boy Toussaint there got the best midfielder of the day, and their defender alongside Denier was Joachim Andersen. He got best defender, and the media went to Lukaku on Friday. So quite a spread of different players. Okay, I want you to remember the midfielder. Okay, Toussaint. Okay, obviously scored a goal, which is cool. On the Saturday we had a lot of weird, not weird, I'd probably say unpredicted performances, especially Brighton. The first half from Aston Villa, and just how emphatic Burnley actually won in the end, I found was a bit surprising. I think at half time, was it 0-0 or 1-0? It was quite tight at half time, yeah, 0-0. So a lot of different things came out of this match day that we could probably spend an hour talking about. The performance of Brighton is getting a lot of attention from a lot of people, and me being a coach, and I say I don't like dropping that in as too often, right? But me being a coach, you always appreciate when a manager does something that you are always pushing to do yourself. And 2 strikers off, 2 new strikers on. It was a stroke of genius, and the boys came on with full energy, and they both went and scored a goal each. So Brighton could be a bit of a shock team, and especially because it's away from home against a very strong Watford when you look at how they lined up. It's a very impressive result, especially when you see how they lined up here. It wasn't really so much a 5-4-1, it was more of a kind of 3-5-2 kind of shape, But anyway, we won't talk about it for too long. So on the Saturday, our media went to Raheem Sterling for his hat-trick. Our best defender on the day was in France. That went to Dante for Nice. Okay, the last game of the day. Big man got the match-winning goal, if memory serves me right. It's not important, I know I'm right. Midfielder went to Cyprian. Forward went to Kane. And the star man went to the boy Dante as well. Can we see Cyprian here? Yep, so Cyprian didn't actually contribute with an assist or anything like that, but it was centre midfield, ticking all the boxes, moving the ball from left to right. And Dante, it's weird because he never got a clean sheet and he got booked, so if we're drilling into his stats, we'll see him probably winning a lot of headers and different bits and bobs. We then move on to the Sunday, and we had a tight game for Leicester and Wolves, a tight game for Arsenal and Newcastle, and then Man U's the headline of the day, winning 4-0 at Chelsea. In France, we had PSG romping a 3-0, Lille winning 2-1, and Metz and Strasbourg, two teams that get some decent attention on the index for different players, drawing one each. Our media went to Harry Maguire. Our best defender was Marquinhos, who played centre mid, who we spoke about before on the channel. Is a player you can exploit in your portfolio for having him playing midfielder when he is defender, and him winning best defender on the day kind of highlights the value of that. Best midfielder of the day was Verratti, best forward was Rashford, and star man was Rashford himself. Okay, Rashford, how many goals did he get again? 2. Yep. No assists, 2 assists for Pogba. I think he finished third or fourth best midfielder. Second best midfielder on both days was one of my holds, De Bruyne. Or De Bruyne probably didn't actually finish second in the end. He was second for a long time, probably third or fourth actually. And Maddison. Now, when we drill into the actual stats, okay, and I want you to remember the midfielders, okay, so the first person to win midfield was Toussaint, okay. If we have a look at his stats in the game, lineups. So we have a look, first of all, he didn't actually even score the best in this foot mob, or even on who scored. It was Thiago Mendes with an assist, and he did some beautiful things as well. But look, his Toussaint, what did he do that won him best midfielder on Football Index? Okay, so he got 2 shots away. His accurate passing was at 94% out of 63. His shots were all on target, one was blocked. Out of his passes, 2 of them were accurate long balls. None of them were key passes. He didn't win any corners. He didn't win the majority of his duels either. He didn't do any dribbles. Won a high percentage of his tackles. He won an interception. And he made 5 recoveries, okay? So that's a little bit of a head scratcher why he earned so many points when you compare and contrast him to Thiago Mendes. 2 assists, 89%, which isn't too far off 93%. Pass rate, accurate long balls, 4. Key passes, 4. Didn't win any corners or anything. Lost just as much of his duels. Didn't succeed in any of his dribbles. And then these stats aren't even, they're worse, than Toussaint. So it's quite a weird one, okay? But Toussaint got the best midfielder. We look into Saturday. Best midfielder on the Saturday was Cyprian. Okay? And Cyprian stats. So Cyprian, matches, and again, if we look at this, he got man of the match in this game, which is a nice change of pace from the last example. But we're drilling into what he done. So he got 4 shots away, 1 assist, accurate passing at 88%. So really 85% plus is so far what we're looking at. Chances created 6, which is great. Shots all off target, 4 of them. Of his passes, 8 of them were crosses, 4 of them were accurate. 8 long balls, 3 of them were accurate. 5 key passes, 7 corners taken. Duels, he won more than he lost, but by a significant margin. 1 dribble attempted and succeeded, and a bunch of recoveries, 7, which is sweet, okay? And then we go into last night's winner, Marco Verratti. And Verratti's somebody who I've held in the past, and I think the new matrix is going to bend. You'll see what I'm getting to eventually with this, okay? But with Verratti, man of the match on the day was Mbappe, which was weird because he never won anything. But Marco Verratti, 8.1, he was booked. Most tackles in the match, if you look at the little fact up there, which is cool. Accurate passes, 99, 94%. 2 chances created is, no shots, so none off target, which is a positive. 105 passes, so that's 105 points right away on the scoring matrix. And then of that, 10 of them were accurate long balls, 2 of them were key passes. His duels, he's won a significant margin more than he's lost. He's succeeded in all his dribbles. he succeeded in all his tackles, and he made 8 recoveries. So what we're seeing with these 3 midfielders that have won is, and especially if you look at Marquinhos as well, what's actually made him win best defender, it's similar stats in terms of passing and tackles won and all that type of thing, touches, duels won. He's getting right in amongst the centre of the pitch. But midfielders now, guys, is going to what it looks like, because there's a flip side to this, right? What I'm looking at when I see these 3 guys winning, Toussaint, Kyprian and Verratti, is the heartbeat midfielders, the ones that are involved in all the passes. So historically, your guys like Modric, Rakitic, Bernardo Silva, David Silva, Milner, these types of guys that are the heartbeat. Henderson, I suppose you might want to say. These guys that are the heartbeat midfielders of the team seem to be getting a lot more love on the new scoring matrix. Also as well, Maddison was very close to winning PB on the Sunday, okay? Now, the interesting thing with this, and I thought this is going to be the angle of the video when I seen this unfold in front of me yesterday, but Maddison scored 181, right? He didn't make any assists, the team didn't win, he didn't score, his passing was at 88%, his shots were all off target, but when you look at his passes, 5 accurate crosses, 2 accurate long balls, 2 key passes, 12 corners. He's won a fair amount of duels, he's won a fair amount of dribbles. He's not really did any defending, tackling or anything like that. He's made some recovery runs, and I thought that was going to be the angle. It's going to be a lot of crosses and whatever as well. But what it is the players that have a wide variety of passes are the ones that are going to be the ones that are really going to be netting you dividends in midfield, okay? In terms of the guys that won in terms of goal scoring, if you're holding Sterling, you will be fairly disappointed, and I totally sympathise with you. I had Sterling last season, and I forget the match, but he scored 2 goals and made 2 assists in the one game, and he lost out in PB by like a good margin, maybe 40 points or something, to somebody who, I think they scored a hat-trick, but they scored 2 penalties. I think I can remember that much, so it was something pretty shit, like you would expect Sterling to get 2 goals, 2 assists against somebody who their team won like 4-0. This guy scored 2 penalties and something, I can't remember, it was pretty shit in the day anyway. So I'm not overly surprised that he didn't bag it on a hat-trick, because unfortunately, it does have a bit of previous for that. If you look at Kane's stats for the game, and I know a lot of people on Twitter saying, Kane didn't do nothing in the match. He scored 8.7 on this, so if you actually dive right into what he's done, he's obviously been very busy. He scored the 2 goals, match winner and everything, Accurate passing above the 80%. Some call centre in Liverpool. He's created 2 chances. The shots, he's had a fair amount on target. Of his passes, 2 of them were accurate long balls. He's got 2 key passes in there, 2 crosses. He's lost most of his duels, dribbles none really. Dispossessed a lot of times. He fouled a few times, and he didn't win much in the air. So when you look at that compared to a hat-trick, and when you look at Raheem Sterling's actual contribution, it is a bit of a head scratcher. But the guy didn't do nothing. There's always some sort of concrete behind the stats. And 9.6, he scored even better on this. So I do sympathise with anyone who feels hard done to, because I've been there before with Sterling. That yellow card played a bit of a part in some of his scoring. I don't think it was really the be all and end all. You might correct me, but it's accurate passing 79%. He's also making a lot of passes. Shots 4, all on target. And then of his passes, none of them were key passes, none of them were long balls, none of them were crosses. None of them really amounted to much. His dribbles weren't great. And when it comes to passing, guys, that's what it's really telling me now, is these extra passes, the accurate through balls, the accurate long balls, the assists, the key passes, the secondary key passes. These are the things that are really going to build up anyone's PB score to actually get them in the end to a scoring result and earn you and bag you some dividends, okay? So with us having match day 1 with France and England behind us now, we're now looking forward to match day 2. It kicks off again on Friday night with a single match day, and it's a very busy single match day. Bayern Munich are playing, Barcelona are playing, and Lyon are playing. So there's a lot of movement in my portfolio already. I started noticing Muller buys since I think Sunday night or something like that. So a lot of people will be gearing their portfolio again towards these types of things. These players are involved in lots of different types of passing and contributing goals and assists and this type of thing as well. And I think, I've built the fantasy football strategy. The midfield of that certainly is based a lot around those types of midfielders, fortunately for me. So I'm expecting once we get everything up and running again that this team's going to do very, very well for us. We were unlucky with De Bruyne in a sense. He'd played pretty poorly, but he was top of, not poorly, but he only made one assist. He didn't do very much in the game. I watched it. And he didn't win out. Best midfielder ended up going to Cyprian. But that tells me De Bruyne and Maddison on bad days, the variety of passing they have, the amount of dribbles they make, that type of thing, they're going to be big holds going forward. And players like that are going to be involved, like your Verrattis, your Cyprians, your Tussarts, that are involved in lots of varieties of passing, crosses, through balls, secondary key passes. These are the guys that are going to stand out in midfield now. Now obviously there'll be guys that succeed a lot in dribbles, like Maddison, who did nothing. He scored like 181 with no assists, no goals, no nothing. So there will be a kind of, it's kind of hard to tell, but what's going to reign supreme over the season. But what it looks like to me from match day 1 is variety of passing is going to be a key metric on the index going forward, okay? Which is why we've bought somebody like Neymar for Kante. I expect Kante, by the way, when he does play, he could become a new real powerhouse div magnet. By the way, I've just sold him because I've made profit and I want to go buy Neymar because he's dropped down in price from when I sold him, and it's a nice little hustle for me. But, players like that, I see them becoming much, much more valuable. And in terms of forwards, it's not really surprising. It's annoying when somebody like Kane wins after you've seen what Sterling's done in the afternoon. But when you actually drill into the stats, there's a lot of reason behind it. The goals, they've been curbed. Scoring a goal has went up a little bit. The match-winning goals went up. So if you're getting that last goal of the game, the match-winning goal, then there is a bonus there for you to be had. And I expect next week, guys, the market's at 112. If it's not at 115 by this time next week, I'd be quite surprised, because there's just going to be tons more action. We'll do a full preview to the next match day, but it really kicks off on Friday with a massive single match day, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'll make a little, Bayern at home to Berlin. Any Bayern player, Kimmich, Goretzka, Müller, Coleman, Gnabry, Renato Sanchez, anyone could really win that from their team. But also Barcelona, Messi, Rakitic, De Jong, Piqué, any of the fullbacks, Jordi Alba. There's a lot of potential safe winners. Joachim Anderson, Jason Denayer both scored well last Friday. The midfield, obviously guys like Toussaint, Mendes, up front Depay, Dembele. So it's going to be an action-packed Friday, guys, So if you're wanting involved on Friday with somebody, you really need to be buying them like 2 days ago. If you can get on somebody now, you will have time to make profit between now and Friday, don't get me wrong. And then I say we'll do a proper preview, but on Saturday and Sunday gone were double match days. We're now going to be back to trebles. So there's 5 La Liga games, 5 Bundesliga games, 6 Liga 1, 7 in the Premier League. On Sunday, we're then going to have 2 in the league, 2 in the Premier, 3 in France, 2 in Bundesliga, and 4 in Spain. So that might be a double. 2, 5, 7. Yep, that'll be a double match day on the Sunday. And then on the Monday, do we have any Monday night football? We have a single match day, and it's going to be Wolves Man United. So big week behind us, guys. If it's your first match day, I'm really eager to hear from you in the comment section. What did you think of the match day? Did you have fun? Did you win anything? What did you learn? If you're new around here, like, share, subscribe, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.